welcome back to Life at the Outpost. And Life at the Outpost, very up and down lately. Starting with a draw against the defending four-time premiers. Not a loss, but not a win either, unfortunately. Coming away with 1 point.
1-pointer.
As opposed to 0. I would say is probably the better scenario there. But
It's always got to be one draw a year.
yeah.
You just hate that it had to be.
Yeah, it had to be us. Yeah, it was our turn this time. You don't see it very often. It's not a big thing that Cowboys do. I don't think we've tied for a long time. I think it might have been against the Broncos the last time, quite a while ago. But
long time.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I don't know. Weird game. It was a real weird game, right? Like we were probably right in it until, well, even that golden point. Everyone was rooted. The boys were in it.
Oh yeah, everyone was just so tired.
Yeah. Just held them up. But yeah.
But then on top of that as well, it was I think on top of all the being tired and whatnot, then they seemed to just be a bit shaky, a bit panicky. It was like they didn't prepare for
Golden point.
And then when the realization set in, it was too late. No one could get close enough, and then by the time they got golden point, they couldn't get the kick down. So
yeah.
I think it was two or three, probably 3 missed opportunities overall, I reckon, for the Cows, and 2 missed for the
4 or 5, I think, bro. In
Actually,
all,
no, there was before. Yeah,
there's
beforehand.
two or three that were probably within kickable, or probably should have been gotten. Maybe 2. We'll say 2. Be conservative and say 2.
That was in the actual game itself, and then in Golden Point they missed it. They missed a couple, so it was. Whew.
Yeah, exactly. So just couldn't quite clinch it, and oddly enough, neither could Cleary, which usually Cleary is like they call it nice, man. But
he got one shot and he got denied. So,
yeah, melted in that one, or he didn't get the opportunity in that one really. So
ice melts. Look at that.
Yeah, who would have guessed? Yeah, I don't know. The boys just couldn't. I mean, Stoke they kept in it for the rest of the game. Otherwise, much like that first one where we beat them down there. Great effort shutting Cleary down at times and stuff. But some of those tries were just, they were a bit rough to see, like Jenkins getting a double and that, and one off of a kick. Talungi just, again, Cleary not being the super instrumental in all of these tries, but Talungi, Blaze just absolutely setting them up, putting them on a platter for some of them, which was unfortunate.
Still one of the worst things that Eels ever did was let him go.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's really shining at the at Penrith. Now he's getting his opportunity at 5'8" anyway. He's absolutely killing it. Great pairing or replacement for Luai.
Dangerous.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Imagine if they had him and Yongi.
Insanity.
Goodness me.
Yeah. Origin would be covered no matter what, always. I think Blaze, like I said, setting a few of those, if not most of those tries up. That first one, I think it was to Papali'i, possibly.
Yeah,
Papali'i. Yeah, setting that up. And then there was one not long after, but just the passes just being on point.
Yeah, that was the Blaze pass to Garner, and then I think Cleary Cleary did one to Garner too. That he got a double.
You're right. There was Garner got a double as well. Was one possibly off a kick, or I might be thinking of something else, but he did. He set him up real well.
The kick
Garner.
was the Jenkins one, I think.
Yep. Kicked him behind early. Just they were right over all over the park. And I mean, there were a lot of times we had a lot of errors which let them into, unfortunately. Derby, unfortunately, having an absolute shocker of a game in this one. Now, we can talk about it like this because he brought it back this week and he had a great redemption arc. He
didn't drop a single ball.
He made a lot of... Yeah, they put pressure on, but he held his own quite well. Yeah. I mean, toward the end of the game, of the Panthers game as well, we should mention, he did steal himself a bit better, and he even got that try to tie it up, I think, in the end. I'm pretty sure it was him anyway.
Oh, man, you know he was just catching balls every single day. He would wake up, catch ball, catch ball every single day after that game. Having
dreams or nightmares. You drift off to sleep and then you see a football flying at you. yeah, exactly. Yeah, did a lot better, but yeah, a lot of errors again. I mean, even seeing, I think Robson made a couple great dummy half breaks from dummy half, and just getting tackled, getting smacked and losing the ball, stuff like that. It was just, unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. But
you got to expect it from Riff, though, I mean, Riff is so good at, they do so much stuff like in ruck that you don't see or don't talk or don't think about.
Yeah.
Their ruck gameplay is incredibly aggressive, and it really showed in that game just how much they wanted to win.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't tie that knot.
Yeah, so. Especially, I think, much like Melbourne of old, like slowing the ruck down and really controlling it. They did get pinged a couple times in this game for it, but pros at it. So, yeah. I mean, we did have some good stuff as well. I mean, Purdue absolutely killing it from that centre spot. He was in again, playing like a 5'8" or a half out of centre, just running an absolute muck. That one he ran from out of dummy half, actually ran around the front or behind the ruck, around the front of the play of the ball, and then who did he set up? Who was it? It was perfect. Golden opportunity.
Wasn't Valea, was it?
No,
it wasn't Valea. It was
should have it just there actually. Their last, if you have their last, I think it was their second last try. But either way, perfect. Dearden for the last try.
Yeah, it was Tommy.
So it wasn't Derby. It was Dearden for the last try. Sorry, set him up. Dearden just hit the ball with steam and went over.
Back 2 tries. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So. Great. Had a great game. Muzz as well in that one. I think it was quite solid. But just unfortunately couldn't get it done. Like you said, there was that many kick attempts, and between both Drinkwater and Clifford, no one could. I mean, Drinkwater's probably closer out of the two.
Which was surprising because you would think that Clifford would be the one that would be closer.
Yeah.
Being the more experienced kicker.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, it was. They just couldn't. They couldn't ice it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep. So that being the undoing, unfortunately. Again, Cleary not really getting the opportunity to either. I think it was a bit of a brain snap as well. That a ball didn't go to him when it would have normally, and he would have iced it in the last couple of seconds. But no, probably lucky for us in that one.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, pretty lucky. Anyway.
And that lucky penalty pickup as well. So.
Yes, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, coming away with a draw, so 1 point better than 0. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the top 8. Still be hanging into the top 8 at the moment. Some positive signs in it there, but unfortunately in that one, and I think it was the week of that Jace went down, was it not? I think he got injured. It was still without him, but yeah, Jace went down injured. We could really see it. I mean, without Cotter and without him there, you could really see it. The go forward sort of stifled in that. Probably something that could have gotten us over the line, or would have had us in better stead for most of it anyway. Like we're saying, without having Cotter and Jace there.
Yeah, no, because we missed Jace this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was during.
Cotter out Cotter was sick that game.
Cotter had that. It was his first week of suspension for that one.
Oh no, okay. Was it the week prior he was sick?
Maybe. A couple of weeks prior, but yeah, he got copped from that Magic Round, that suspension.
Magic Round, yeah, that's right.
So that was his first one he was serving there, but I think Jace earlier that week got that injury, copped that injury, so that's right, because McKaylee
came in, that's right, because I pointed that out too,
Yeah, getting his debut,
well, re-debut.
Yeah, re-debut.
Yearly debut.
Debut of the year, you're right, yeah. Which I think is probably much needed. He's probably someone that's much needed in the side.
Because then we were also looking at that Zach Labert 18th man. We're like, oh, is he actually fit?
Yeah.
Can he come back in?
Yep. Yep.
And then he showed up this week, and he still played very well this week too. We'll get to that, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely missing the big boys in the go forward there against the Panthers, but also this week just being as well. It was much notice. Cotter will be back, I believe, after the bye round. So round 13 when we play the Tigers should be Cotter's first game back.
Straight back into Origin.
Yeah, well, into Origin, you're right. Should be, well, now that you mention that too, whether he does back up or not, we don't know, but you would have to think they'll be wanting him to try and back up possibly. And then Jace, we're not too sure about. I'm not too sure when his return is. We'll have a quick look at that as well in the injury ward. But this week jumping onto the Manly game now. Anyway, same thing. Much notice the go forward. The go forward was just it was pretty tough. I wouldn't say non-existent, but it just wasn't there. I mean, without the kicking game, which was brought on by the new halves pairing, Todd's decided to drop Clifford after last week and give Dearden a run in the 7 and have Purdue as his 5/8. And I mean, before the game, you could see what was being done or what they were trialing, the possibility or the potential of it, but just didn't play off. It was just whether there was confidence or maybe not enough time to work something together.
Just not enough time. Like you could even see it in the on field. Like,
yeah.
Even when because we were actually obviously at the game.
Yeah.
But we even watching them train and run through stuff, you could see that they have not played it very much.
Bit of a lack of cohesion in it. Yeah, I mean, sense probably in. He was also Purdue was slated to be in contention for one of the half spots at the start of the season. Probably since then, really, before this week, probably since then they hadn't trained at it, and whether the systems or sets or plays or whatever has changed since then, which highly likely. There just wasn't as much cohesion. But yeah, going back to the kicking game, that was the one big downfall, unfortunately. Was the kicking game was near non-existent. You've got Drinkwater, but Drinkwater's the only one really who put kicks in. Tommy put a couple in, but yeah, he just doesn't have a long kicking game like Clifford does.
Yeah. And seemingly not really much of a like a lower kicking game either. Like they really didn't do it. They really went away from all grubbers,
which was odd. Odd to me because I've seen Tom put a bunch of good ones in over the years. He's great at it, but I don't know whether they weren't ready for that or something. I don't know, but yeah, not even an attempt.
You would think as well with the height disadvantages and the athleticism disadvantages too. Realistically,
yep.
They had Lehigh one side and Saab the other. Like you've got to probably play a little bit more direct than playing in the air because they're going to win the air no matter what. And they did. They definitely did.
Saab every time. Just
to me, it was just a very lack of cohesion and practice.
Yeah.
I'm with Todd on this in the sense that Purdue is definitely the future. He is definitely the future in the 6, 100%. Tom is definitely the future in the 7. But is it a...
At some point.
At some point.
It's probably more so. Yeah.
They definitely need to actually work on the practice side of things of that and get to that point first. There clearly just wasn't enough practice done prior. It just seemed like there was a lack of communication, a lack of set plays just being known.
Yeah,
like they sort of would
shutting down or coming to a halt. You're right.
They'd get to 4 and 5, and something would go wrong, and they'd go, "Oh shit!" and then just try and play it on their own, and it was just like, ugh.
There are quite a few. You're right on the line. A lot of, and some of them were from going for a attempt at try, but plays dying on the 5th tackle, like no kicks, no nothing.
But
just taking the tackle
and that's going to happen in games, right? No game will ever go perfect where you get an exact set play. Every single time, there's always going to be something. Someone's going to pop an offload when they thought they couldn't. And someone's going to end up with a ball when they thought they wouldn't. That's just the way that the game goes. But you've got to be able to reconstruct a backup plan for that. And that was the part that looked like it was missing, and it would almost happen on every single play where you would see it come out. They've gone, oh no. What we were going to do is no longer able to be done because he's just rolled the ball to me. Yeah. What do I do? I'll just kick it. Yeah. And it wasn't practiced. It wasn't clean. Anywhere. It wasn't polished.
Unfortunately, you're right. Yeah. Something I think that Tommy's going away for Origin. I hope anyway. Clifford's coming back to the 7, but you'll probably see Purdue possibly get another shot there at 6. If not Duffy, but I think it'll probably be Purdue again. That way we're leaving Laybutt at any centre spot there.
Now, what would shock me is seeing if we saw a Purdue 6 and a Duffy 7.
Yeah.
That would make me ask some questions.
Yeah, now that again would, after last week, would then raise questions and scratch your head. But Clifford I think should come back into that 7, which is then going to give us that added ability of what we lacked of having some sort of kick ability. They can have their kick meters and some proper kick meters, and then Purdue might be a bit more free to do what he's meant to be doing in the 6 there. Might make him a little bit more comfortable, possibly. Clifford can lead the team around and man manage in that, and then obviously you got Drinkwater there as a backup. So hopefully that's what we see. In round 13, if Tommy doesn't back up, I would think he probably will, but if he doesn't, you would think that that's what the combination will be. I don't know. There's not too much more to talk on about it, unfortunately. That was it. I mean, Eagles, not to take anything away from the Seagulls, but really. Fact of the matter, they weren't that great either. The scoreline doesn't really reflect, or the end scoreline.
They kept it
really,
simple. You know,
yeah,
they kept it simple. The game was for all intents and purposes. The game was a bit of a rough watch.
yeah,
From
yeah,
like a league enthusiast or even a league analyst
yeah,
point of view.
yeah,
The game was a bit of a rough one to watch. But I mean, you know, it was 6-6, and then it just blew out because they ran out of steam.
yeah,
For the last half. So
yeah,
I think realistically, it was just a lack of practice. I think they pulled the pin on their idea a little earlier than they should have.
yep,
A week, quite frankly, a week earlier than they should have. Literally a week.
yeah.
But I think, you know, we'll see what happens over the Origin period. I think we'll see some pretty stellar stuff. Obviously, we've got the bye this week.
Yeah, which is rather fortunate.
Which is fortunate because
Yeah.
that means they've got more time to actually practice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep.
So come in the next week and see what we can do.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot more to touch on with it, unfortunately. I mean, really, that's what we were lacking, was that go forward and that kicking ability. We'll start seeing the big boys come back as well, finally, which is good after Origin. But yeah, just a little bit uninspiring, unfortunately, against the Sea Eagles there, which is unfortunate. I mean, I could probably see why it was done now, as opposed to if you were out of the 8 and scrambling to get into the 8. If we lost, we'd still stay in the 8, which we did. But you want to be still.
I think that's
yourself
probably
down.
literally the only reason they did it, was that we were comfortably in the 8.
It's the only logical
Let's
reason
just-
you could think of.
Let's
Yeah,
just play with stuff now while we're up, so we don't have to feel pressure later on.
yeah,
which
exactly
is fair.
right.
Like, I
Out of
get it.
necessity, and then if you do cop the loss from like we did, then you put yourself even further out.
And
So,
it's like I said, realistically, he is the future of the club. He is the future. They need to look at it now. I like that they're looking at it as early as they can be,
yeah,
but it was probably just done a little
Yeah.
one game too early. Literally one game too early. is
yeah,
all it was.
very, very possibly. That's right. And yeah, I mean, not any to talk smack on Purdue at all. We know his ability. We've seen it. He's the new mayor of Townsville, really.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah, we know,
Stellar.
we know what he's got there. But yeah, just wasn't the right fit for that game anyway, or didn't end up coming off, unfortunately.
Just practice.
Yeah, that's it. We'll give a quick shout out as well, I think, to the winner of those Panthers tickets, Lisa. So we did end up being able to do a redraw for them. She got to go. So haven't heard back how the night was, but it was a draw. It was a cracker of a game and a draw against the Panthers. So hopefully she enjoyed them. But the other one, we were fortunate enough actually to get picked a members round to sit at the new 4X Scott U Thurston bar for the game against the Seagulls there. Now, unfortunately, wasn't the result we wanted, so wasn't as great as it could have been. But not a bad little spot there. So anyone that gets an opportunity to, whether it be for a member competition or something, or anything in general, if you get an opportunity to get to sit at that Scott U Thurston bar, very, very handy as well. Of course, nibblies and drinks were provided by 4X, so that always makes it better, all the better.
It's a fantastic spot for like it's
great
actually
idea.
very well spotted as well, especially for the evening games. I think it might be a bit of a less fun one. Take your sunscreen if you're in
2
an
o'clock,
Arvo
2:30 game.
like the real early ones.
Yeah.
But the later games, 100% fantastic. It's amazing. It's great hospitality as well.
Yep.
Really fantastic job from the Cowboys and 4X Gold.
Yep, most definitely. Yeah, so big thank you to the membership team there for picking who was the winner
team,
in that.
100%,
Yeah. And another little bit of lore behind that one too. Kenny Diener, who painted Empire, who's done Empire and Level 1, most of Jason's artwork for the bar there, actually did the artwork for that. So big shout out to him as well. Yeah, yep. That's probably about it for the last couple of weeks. As we said, we've got the bye. Got the bye this week coming, this round, so there's not much more to talk about. But I guess we're playing, it's too early to talk about now, but we're playing the Tigers at home in 2 weeks. So that's the next game. We'll be at that one as well. Hopefully we can shake the hoodoo and the boys after Origin aren't feeling too fatigued. We can get our big boys back, and hopefully, because Jace is still, they're unsure when Jace is coming back, so he hasn't got a date or how long he's out for at the moment. Hopefully we can see him come back by then. or at least maybe McKaylee keep his spot, take Jace's spot, because he's a much needed thing in the side. I think much needed utility in the side. But yeah, I mean, I'll be feeling confident. Tigers did have started strong throughout the year, but they just seem to be being a bit wavy lately. They're wavering a bit, so I'm feeling confident about that. Yeah. Again, it's another afternoon game up here on the Saturday, so it should be a good turnout and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's it. We can come back from the bye, come back refreshed, and build that momentum, start that momentum again, and get us on another winning run.
And I'd like to see Purdue actually play center in that game.
Yeah.
I would really like to see that. Obviously, it depends on how everyone backs up and whatnot. But I would like to see Purdue still play center in that game and still have a game at center, like have games at center. You know, the origin period spans over 9 weeks.
Yep.
Like it's a long haul. So, you know, I think having him play in the 6 and get time in the 6 is important and essential.
Yeah.
But I still think having a center game
Yep.
is just as important for his 6th game as well.
Yeah.
We need to still see, you know, we still need to see him getting that time to actually work his own game out a bit, and how he runs at players and how he gets around players still.
Yep.
And that's what the center's all about. So,
Yep.
I think I'm hoping that he still plays a little bit at center going forward, for at least for this year, until we see what happens with the 7 and the 6 side of things next year.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
That's what I'm hoping for. So.
Yeah, and it's rather unfortunate too, because if he does, and we want him to, but he does, it's either going to push Laybutt or Valea out, and I know Laybutt's only just come back, and we didn't really talk too much on it, but he didn't have a bad game. He didn't have.
He caught almost every ball. There was only one bad one he dropped.
Yeah.
But he caught pretty much everything. So personally, I thought he was the only one with the shoe-in of getting over Saab. So
Yep.
And I mean, every single time they put a dropout up, they kicked it at Laybutt every time, and we got it back through Laybutt every time.
Exactly right. So didn't have a bad game at all. Had a good return and whatnot.
That'll be good for his confidence coming back too, and good work on his knees too. So
yeah. It's rough, because it's going to be one of them that's going to have to step aside, and I kind of hope Laybutt gets to stay, or at least gets a bit more opportunity to stake his claim to have his spot back.
100%.
We do, and again, like I said, we do want to see Purdue probably go back there and just sort of hold down the spot to stay in the team. But someone's gonna have to take a step aside.
A lot of contract stuff, but it's not gonna all happen until the end of the year anyway. But we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, whether they might even share it, who knows?
Yeah. Whether something like that happens, you're right.
Interchange, whatnot. Even.
Yep. But that's probably about it. Until we come back to you after the Tigers game, it will be anyway. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then.
Cheers.